down to the T, very accurate, you can see. We filled the gap down to the T, we took out the Asian low, we're below the daily opening price, we're in the discount. We have so many things that line up for a long, right? So I won't go through the actual order flow of that day, the actual trade, but what it was, if you go down to the 1 minute chart, you basically look for a break and retest. So I don't want to make trading overcomplicated. You're basically looking for a break and retest. So what I mean by break and retest is this: you wait for price to break the zone, retest the zone, and then you just buy. That's it. That's basically all you do. So we wait.
It was the candle, and it was the candle prior to the fair value gap candle, which created the zone. You said,
Yeah, absolutely. So I will quickly go over that in a bit of detail, because that's the question I get. So basically, this is so. I'll properly dive into this. So what you can see is that there was a gap here. So this red line and this red line, you can see there's a very clear gap. We call this a fair value gap in the markets. So our key level, we don't do it like this, right? We don't do it like this. This is wrong. We take the candle before.
Okay.
Yeah, and the simple logic for this is that you want to see the market filling the entire fair value gap. So you're not interested if it comes sort of here and then hovers off. You want it to touch the zone so it fills the entire fair value gap. That's what you want. So a key level is the first thing we look for, right? The second thing we look at is buyers and sellers, and the third thing we look at is basic order flow. And in fact, what I'll do is I will break this trade down, even though I have to keep scrolling back through the Discord. I will break it down. So it's the third, whatever it was, 14th of the month, right? So I will quickly break this down, because I know we have some new people. So I'm just gonna quickly go back to the 14th. I'm gonna break this trade down. But basically, the reason that trade was successful is because it filled the gap, and I'm going over the gap because we have one today. So it filled the gap. We were in discount. We were below the daily opening price.
You can always, like, if you want to refer to a trade that you've recently had for a few days, let's say, you can always pin it, and then that might be a little easier for you to.
Yeah.
It's, but it's up to you.
Okay, one sec. 60. Okay, we're almost here. I'm only gonna go over this one because I wanted to really just go over the gap. The gap was the main thing I wanted to go over. So it was basically now. We had Oscar, who was smashing the Euro USD as well. Very good. I'm gonna get him to do a Euro USD break. So this was the trade break and retest. So execution wise, this key level, this blue box. So my execution that day was 66.48, right? And I closed a little bit early, hence why the TP isn't exactly what it is, 600 something versus 500 something. The stop initially was below the zone. However, I do trail it as price is going in my direction, basically, because I wanted to try and minimize how much I'm risking, obviously, right? But if you look here, right, just to quickly go over this zone, I'll quickly go over this order flow because I do get a lot of questions on it. So basically, it's a mindset shift. So you're not looking when price comes into your zone. You want to get into this. You want to get into the mentality of understanding it can either go down or it can either go up. And I think people, it's not that they kind of overcomplicate. You can only have scenario 1 and scenario 2. Now in this case, scenario 2 played out because what we had is we had break, we had retest, then we headed higher. Now in this case, the retest only took 1 candle. Sometimes it can take 1, sometimes it can take 10. The way you do that is by not focusing on the candles. So you're not actually focusing on the candles. Candles are simply a picturesque version of something that's already happened. So what that means is, the reason I started off by looking at the key level in this case is because we're looking at price action at the key level, not the candles. So this is what I mean by that. So once you have this in place, you want to focus on what's going on in the blue box, or the gray box and the blue box are the same here. So you want to focus on what was going on inside of the blue box. So what was going on inside of the blue box is we had a lot of aggressive buyers which peeped their head above the level. So this candle corresponds to that candle, right? I don't like speaking about candles because I think people, they start diving into candles, which is not correct. You want to look at what's going on inside of the key level. That is important. Yes, it's
Mhm.
important to know whether price is broken above or below the key level, but you're not interested in the order flow outside of the level that much. You are interested in what's going on inside of the key level. Now,
Mhm.
inside of the key level, we had a lot of aggressive buyers, which peaked their head above the zone once and then twice. But when we peaked above, we had this candle over here, this red candle, which corresponded to this region here. This candle and this candle. So basically, a very quick breakdown on order flow. There's a left